you. All right, everybody please sit down. Great to be here. I just got out of a long week of training at Whirlpool, and boy, it's a great job. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I got to where I am today. We're going to start off with what my passion is. My passion is magic. So I'm going to show you actually a very quick clip of the finales of most of my greatest achievements. That's me, by the way. Am I cool or what? You don't even know what you saw. It's like, what? This is tremendous stuff. So let's go on to the next piece here. This is my journey. How did I get from magic to Whirlpool? How I transitioned from magic to Whirlpool. So how did we do that? I did it by using the principle of the importance of being ignorant. That's right. So we can go to the next slide here. There we go. The importance of being ignorant. Now, what I mean by ignorant, I don't mean going through life being, I'm just really stupid and not do anything. No. You'll see what I'm talking about very quickly. So, by the way, before we get started, I want to give you a document here. This is certified truthful. I have gone to great lengths on the internet to find the certification. Everything that I'm going to tell you is right out of my head, and it's certified by the institution of hippocampus. And if you don't know what the hippocampus is, that's long-term memory on the brain. So there we go. So anyway, I promise you, this presentation will be interesting. It will be fun, hopefully. Are we doing a good thing? There we go. It'll be fun. Isn't that cool? That's fun. And it'll also be relevant. Really? And most of all, it'll be about the power of ignorance. So let's talk about that. Let's do the definition of ignorance, shall we? It's the lacking of knowledge or training. That is how I govern my life. Believe it or not, that's how I govern my life. What's the opposite of it? Let's take a look at that. The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. And I use Sally Ride here in this photograph because I'm a big space nut. Sally Ride was the first American woman in space. Her first shuttle flight was in 1983. Now, why is she here? Well, before she went into space, she was totally ignorant of what it was like to ride in a space shuttle. Totally. I mean, can they practice being on a space shuttle? It costs billions of dollars to launch that thing. That's probably why they retired. Also, she had no idea what it was like to be in outer space. It was simulated, but she had no idea. So she had lack of knowledge. She was ignorant until she got into space. And the difference between knowledge and ignorance is just a flip of a coin. That's the difference. And it's an aha moment. As soon as you learn something, it just clicks in. Like 2 plus 2 equals what? 21. It equals 4, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4. And when you have that moment, it's like, oh, Of course, I put him on the spot. He's like, I have no idea. That's okay, because I don't do math in public either. So, all right, so that's the opposite of ignorance. And by the way, 3 years later, the Space Shuttle Challenger just disintegrated after liftoff because of a little O-ring. Had she known, had everybody, they probably wouldn't have gone. But she took the risk, and here she is. So let's go on to the next one. My initial career path. In the 3rd grade, I got hooked on magic. And that's when I made a career decision. In the 3rd grade. I'm going to be a magician. My magic show ended up touring the college market for 15 years. I created The Haunting, lasting 17 years, and I started a video production company lasting 14 years. I know if you add up all those years, it's a lot older than I am, but I did all that simultaneously. So let's see how I did that on this next slide here. Look at this. This is my magic, starting here, getting out of high school. Yeah, okay. This is the income level. I'm not going to tell you how much I made, but it was a lot. Okay? And then here, 1995, that's The Haunting. I put it in red for blood. Okay? And then here, 2001, right? What's this dip? What happened in 2001? 9/11, right? What happened to my magic? But I started The Haunting, so I had income. Here, 2001, started Boomerang Studios, video production company, and yada, 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 yada. And look what happened. All 3 of these lines converge. Boom. Here. Look at that. Let's go on to the next slide. It's all right. Just look what happened here. Nuclear explosion. 2008. Can anybody say what happened in 2008? The recession, right? Wow. But of course, if you go back in time, you guys were like, I don't know what's going on with the world. Yeah. Well, 2008, that's when the market crash happened. And this is what everybody felt like at that time. It's a market crash. We were all crying. We didn't know what to do. We did not know what to do. So, I was bankrupt. Am I ashamed to say that? I was bankrupt in 2008. Next slide. Let's take an assessment of that. Had I known I could lose my businesses, I probably wouldn't have started them at all. If I would have asked a whole bunch of questions, what are the risks of starting a business? Did you know that 1 out of 3 businesses fail within the first 3 years? And I chose to be in the hardest field in the world, entertainment, marketing, and advertising. All 3 of them depended on what? The economy. Disposable income. So, if I wouldn't have chosen that path of ignorance, not asking all those questions, what wouldn't I have done? Let's take a look. I wouldn't have gotten in the Hall of Fame of Magic at 18 years old, winning the national championships in the Chavez Cup. That's me in Spain in the World Championships of Magic. I wouldn't have opened up for David Copperfield on TV. And look how happy I am! This guy had an amazing career, and mine was just starting. Oh, I'm so mad. Plus, he was hitting on my wife, Lori. See? He really was. He was hitting on her in the green room. Made me mad. All right, so next slide. I became, and this is true, I became the most sought-after magic act in the college market. Lori and I, we toured all over the country. We toured 1,000 colleges in 10 years. And I got a free college t-shirt at every college. Next one. I also produced one of the most popular fitness documentaries in film history. If you don't believe me, Google, I want to look like that guy. To date, there's got to be 30 pages on the internet that I did not create about this movie. And most of them are torrents. Yeah, it was stolen. Yeah. Don't copy anybody's film. Because I needed them to cash, and somebody decided to put it on the internet. But anyway, and that film really did very well. Matter of fact, it was the first film to be shown at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Film Festival. That's right. That's my best impression because I got to meet him. So it's kind of cool. All right, next one. I also produced one of the nation's top haunted houses for 17 years. A haunting. How many of you have been through the haunting? Gosh, just about, okay, let's just say everybody, all right? Okay, gotta do some more marketing there. But the haunting's closed, right? You already know that. So next slide. So what do when you have no income and no prospects for work? What do? No. I had to go back to the very beginning. I did not know what my key to success was. And it was this. I had to get ignorant again. That's right. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Time to get ignorant. So I had to think hard. So let's take a look at the next slide. Next slide is look. Look at this. This gap is what I'm going to talk about right here. I did not know I had 4 years ahead of me of doing nothing. No income. That's a lot to think about. So what do you do in 4 years? Okay, I had to think ignorantly. I had no money, couldn't get a loan, right? I was high risk because I was bankrupt. Claimed bankruptcy. What do? Okay? I'm going to make an ignorant statement. I'm going to go to college for free. That's what I did. I said I'm going to go to college for free. How are you going to do that? Grants? No, they cut them all off. All right. What kind of skills do I have? And then I started digging a little bit deeper, and I approached Adrian College. Now, 2008, the internet was, YouTube was still a little young. So I said, you know what? You guys don't have a website dedicated with video. Well, it's coming, and it's coming fast. And I knew how to do that. Adrian College did not even have a TV station. They didn't have video production. So I said, I'm going to put together a proposal, and I'm going to say, guys, I'm going to produce videos for you for free. You guys are going to give me college education for free. Win-win, that's as far as my thinking got. Ignorant. I didn't know any of the distance. I had no idea how to get from here to here, but that was a great statement. And guess what happened? I went to college for free. That's right. So, the next slide here is just saying I went to college for free. So, let's go to the next slide. But now it's time to get ignorant again. Because part of the deal was that I had to go back to college. I didn't think that far. I just thought they were going to hand me a degree. Oh, thanks a lot for doing the video. Here you go. Oh, got to go to college. So all my friends were saying, hey, Stu, you are in your 40s. What on earth are you going to be doing in a classroom full of kids? Right? I'm going to be the creepy guy sitting between these guys here going, what are you doing with pen and paper? It should be a notepad. No. So I had no idea how to go back to school again. So I was ignorant again. I just said, I'm just going to forget about all that. Just going to go. So next slide. Here's what I did. I wrote a play. That was one of my theses. I had to write a play to graduate. By the way, that's me. I also decided I was going to go back to school, old school. I joined a fraternity. That's me. And I also decided that I'm going to become involved. And that's me out of my mind on the rapids with a bunch of college kids. I fell off of that right after that photo was taken, and I nearly drowned. No lie. Here's a whole other story there. But look at the top line. New information equals knowledge. I had my aha moment the moment I walked into the class that I was going to be okay. I made a whole bunch of friends because I dove right into it. I stopped thinking about all those little details. Let's go to the next one. Graduation equals job search begins. Ugh, I have to get a job. All my friends said, you can't work for somebody else because you've been doing your own thing for 30 years. So I had to do something else. So what time is it? What time is it? Time to get ignorant. That's right. You guys win. Time to get ignorant again. So I had to stop thinking about all the details. I knew I had to get a job. I was here, I need to go here, I didn't know all the steps in between other than apply. So I found what's called low-lying fruit. You're going to hear that a lot in your career. Low-lying fruit is, what can I get to right away for an instant victory to make me feel good? So I applied for a job at a TV station in Raleigh, North Carolina. Here I am in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I still don't know what that button does. And I never got to run that board because they wouldn't let me touch it. However, they hired me because I was creative. They hired me because I was really good at making TV commercials. So I went to job number 2, a cable company in Saginaw. Turned out to be a puppy mill for TV commercials. I did 200 TV commercials in 7 months. I was done. Job number 3, media sales for a network. I sold airtime for a living. Bad job. Some people do it for a living, and it's fine. It's a personality-driven thing. It wasn't a good fit for me. So it's not a good fit. I was a square peg in a round hole. Next slide. I didn't fit the mold. Everybody was right. Everybody was right. I could not work for anybody else. I was almost convinced of it. And then I found out something else. I was like, wait a minute. I had to change my definition of what I wanted. I was just going for the low-lying fruit at this point to pad my resume so that I could do something else. And that was, I was just looking for a job. And a job to me was a band-aid. It was just income. I needed a career. So, here we are, making that decision. Job versus career. My job is slowly crushing my soul. It's true. At that point, to give you an idea, the last job I had with the media sales job, it was so bad. The seat that I sat in, where I sold to McDonald's. It was one of my big accounts, and let's see, big Bob Evans and Menards. Those were the 3 big accounts, and it was exhausting. But when I decided to leave, I went to HR. HR is the people that hire you and fire you. Sat down and I said, I want out of here right now. I don't want 2 weeks. I want out of here. And she said, I don't blame you. I hate you. True story. True story. The first, okay, one more thing about that job. This is how bad it was. The second week I was there, the news producer, I was going to the bathroom, the news producer was pulling his hair out by the roots behind me, screaming. And then, I'm like, okay. Watch. And then the announcement came on, John will not be in, he's moved on to another career. We'd like to wish him well. And then 2 hours later, we've changed the locks, and if you see him, call security. So, yeah, he lost his mind, and I'm not kidding you. He lost his mind. So I need to get out of it. So what I did is I got ignorant again, right? And I needed to find a career. So Whirlpool Corporation is a career-oriented place. It's a global company. And this is the job description that came across my inbox. The yellow is the only thing I knew about the job. What's SEO? I don't know. What's WebEx? Just look at all that stuff. Who can do all of that? All right. So I applied for the job. Because I knew that one thing. What do you think happened? I got the job. Yeah. But something else happened. I had to get ignorant again. I had to get ignorant. So how did I get ignorant? Yeah, I got the job. But interesting thing happened. I did so well at the interview. Let's go back and forward another slide here. When I was in my interview, it took 3 weeks. I had no real corporate experience. What they were interested in was this slice right here. They kept on talking about this. They needed somebody that was an entrepreneur. They needed somebody who didn't have a corporate magnifying glass. They needed somebody with a different perspective of life. I did not fit the corporate mold. I still don't. These guys talking in acronyms, and I go, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm ignorant. Okay? But they knew I had a lot of skill sets in there. And they kept on drawing them out of me during the interview. And it's the best job I've ever had. There I am, here at Purple. Stu's corporate career. I did so well at the interview, guys. I nailed it. I nailed it. And I did it so well, they gave me a promotion before I even got the job. That job description was for a lower level position, and I got the job above it. Yeah. I'll tell you the secret of how I did it. You're going to laugh, but it's true. I made a book. It's called a brag book. And I opened it up and I said, yeah, here's some of the stuff I did. But most of the brag book was about Whirlpool. They were surprised that I did all of this research on the company. Think about it. When you're going to go out for a job, do the research on the company. Tell them this is all the stuff I like about the company. You'll get the job. I can't guarantee that. But it's a good start, right? Okay, so let's go to the next slide because I want to make sure we're... Okay, are we running out of time? Are we good? We're not good? We got to go. Oh, we got to go. All right, so anyway, get involved and be ignorant, everybody. You know why? Because the U.S. government wants you to be ignorant too.